He's going to do everything that he can to call that out. And that is important to call out. That is important to talk about. And again, we see majority of Americans who disagree. And so when you are not with where majority of Americans are, then, that is extreme. That is an extreme way of thinking. I'm not going to, that's what I have for you, Phil.
Go back to tonight's speech. Obviously, you said that the president's going to be calling out these lawmakers that are MAGA lawmakers in Congress, but you had 74 million people vote for Trump last time around. You said it's a small number that the White House believes are extremists. Can you give us an idea of ballpark? Are we talking a million of that 74 million? Are we talking about 1%, 20%? What kind of number are we talking?
Well, I'm talking about specifically of MAGA office holders. That's what we're talking about. They're the ones. I'm talking specific. I already answered this question about how we feel like we've touched a nerve, right? When folks are saying that we're trying to be divisive or that we're talking about millions of voters. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about MAGA office holders.
If it's MAGA office holders, we've seen Democratic groups, I'm thinking of like the Democratic Governors Association, boost Trump candidates, like Maryland. You think of Dan Cox, who just got the nomination. Is that then hypocritical if you're saying we've got to make sure these MAGA supporters are not in office, but you've got Democratic groups that are boosting their campaigns in the primaries?
I can't talk about campaigns and what another candidate is doing or a committee is doing. I can't speak from that here. We're talking about agenda that is not popular. We're talking about agendas that is incredibly extreme. We're talking about an agenda that is not in line where majority of Americans are. So yeah, the president's going to talk about that, and he's not going to shy away currently.
Democrats and people on the left are pretty happy about the more aggressive tone they're seeing from the president and from the White House. But you're also facing some criticism, which has been brought up, that this aggressive tone is also stoking the divisiveness that he's trying to heal. Any concerns about that?
The president's never going to shy away from calling out what he sees. I'm assuming the divisive tone is coming from whom?
From the right.
From the right. So, look, we understand we hit a nerve. We get that. We understand that they're trying to hide. And we understand that ultra-MAGA office holders want to play games here.
Is tonight a political speech?
No, it's not a political speech. This is an opportunity, again, for the president to directly have a conversation with the American people. And again, it's a broader subject about this moment that we're in.
Things, as you were saying to one of my colleagues' questions, concern about this MAGA Republican, this extremist agenda, and that's something he's going to talk about tonight. How is that not a political speech?
Well, I said he's not going to shy away from that. Of course, he's going to talk about voter participation. Of course, he's going to talk about getting Americans to get involved and participate in this effort to fight our democracy. That is something that he is certainly going to talk about. But what I'm trying to say is this is a broader.
Returning to our discussion yesterday and following up on some of the things that you said today, I just want to clarify, does the president believe that the effort to restrict abortion, to restrict that freedom, is semi-fascism?
Say that. How is this connected to yesterday? I'm just trying to think.
So in terms of extremism, the extremism conversation that we were having yesterday, does the president believe that the effort to restrict abortion, whether it's at the local level or the federal level, to restrict that freedom, does he believe that that is semi-fascist?
I mean, he was very clear. He was very clear that MAGA Republicans in Congress have an agenda that is extreme. And that's what you hear from them, of the national ban. And so, yeah, we see that as extreme.
So, but I'm trying to figure out which bucket in particular to put it in, because the administration, as well as the president, has used different language here. There's extremism, and then there's also the semi-fascism moniker that he used. I mean, this is an effort that's been around for a long time. Does he believe that this movement, working through whether it's the state legislature or Congress, is in either of those buckets?
When we talk about semi-fascism and you talk about the attack on our democracy, that's what we're talking about, right?
But specifically with regards to limiting these freedoms, I guess my question is, the Supreme Court created this space for the anti-abortion movement at the state level and also perhaps at the federal level to try and restrict this freedom. where do they fit into all of this? How would the president describe them after that decision? Were they just extremists, or were they, part and parcel of a semi-fascist?
Look, here's what I'll say. We continue to see attacks on people's fundamental rights, right?
For Americans who consider themselves Republicans or may still support the former president. Is there something in the speech directed to them?
Well, look, the president really does believe that that what he's going to talk about is something that many Americans are going to care about.